and help me get people admitted. Anyway, welcome everybody to our first forum. This is the World Trails Network Education and Inclusive Engagement Forum. We're a task team of the World Trails Network, and my name is Julie Judkins, and I'll be leading us through this with my co-hosts, Tatla and Delia, who are my co-chairs for our task team. We are really excited to have some amazing speakers with us today and talking about conservation cores. This is the first of 4 forums that we're hosting this year, and we will be highlighting programs, organizations, and communities that are really modeling inclusive engagement for trail development and conservation. So I am, oops, as I said, I'm our co-chair, and I also am on the board with the World Trails Network. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains of Western North Carolina on the eastern band of Cherokee lands, and am so excited to share this with you all today. My organization is Just Trails, regenerating nature and community through the connective power of trails. I'm very passionate about trails as a means of healing ourselves and our communities. And so I find that the work with World Trails Network really is incredibly aligned with my purpose-driven work. And so do we have Takla or Delia on the line that I could ask them to introduce themselves as co-chairs? I don't see them here
I,
yet.
I am. I
Oh,
am
you are.
here.
Oh,
Yep.
hi,
But
Julie. That's why I couldn't see
oh, it all says Julie. I don't know why. Yeah.
it.
Thank you very much. I just got COVID, so I'm not at my very best moment. But I am really loving co-chairing this committee. I've been doing it for a while with Julie, and Tatla's recently joined us. I'm based in Vermont, USA, and yeah, and I want to thank our speakers today. I'll leave it at that, so you don't have to listen to my voice anymore.
Thank you, Delia. I hope you feel better real soon. Thank you so much for joining us, even though you're sick. And Tatla, are you on the line? That's okay. I'm going to give you a quick high level of what the World Trails Network is. The World Trails Network facilitates international cooperation and collaboration between trail organizations, individuals, and we share experience and knowledge, expertise, skills, in promoting sustainable trails. It's a global active network, and in each work in our own regions and our own interests, and bring that interest to benefit more communities and more people. We host a conference every other year. This year, our conference was in Ottawa, Canada. And the next one will be in Australia in 2026. I'm sorry, so Ottawa was last year. I'm still transitioning into 2025 here. So really, I love volunteering with the World Trails Network. I call it my trail family, and it's such an incredible way to get to know people and how they're working in the trails world all over. So our task team really focuses in on sharing promising practices and resources related to education and inclusive engagement among future and current stewards and with leaders, adventurers, organizations around the world. And to accomplish this, we are hosting these forums and trying to advocate and garner more interest. We also, let's see, I have a slide here for that I have missed. We have 2 initiatives, World Trails Ambassadors and Indigenous Ways. Ambassadors are our rising lead. Okay, so Indigenous Ways is led by these 2 amazing humans, Kylie and Thomas. So it's an Indigenous-led forums-based movement and working with Indigenous communities to share more about trails. And same with our World Trails ambassadors. They're rising leaders as a cohort supporting trails for their communities and advocating for their communities and working together to be a part of the World Trails Network and share their amazing observations and advice with the experts within the World Trails Network. We have an ambassador on our speaker list today, and I'm guessing we will have some with our oh, please stick with me here. I have an activity that I would like to share. And just to get to know who is on the line a little bit, I've been talking for a moment, but have an exercise that I'd love to take a minute or two before we introduce our first speaker. It's a Padlet, and what it does, I'm going to show everyone once I get my screens aligned here. Thank you for your patience with me. So I'll share the link, or Brooke is going to share the link for this Padlet in just a minute. But when you open it, it has a map of the world on it, and you're going to open the link on your page, and you'll see a pink bottom in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and you hit that plus button, and we'd love for you to type your name, type your location, and spell my hometown, yes. And it will pop up on your screen, and then it'll prompt you to add anything that you would like. If you want to add a link to your organization, if you want to add a little message to everyone, if you want to add a picture, or just your name and where you're dialing in from. And then we will be able to have a beautiful picture of where from all over the world folks are dialing in from. So, Brooke, if I could ask you to add in the Padlet link, I'm going to show everybody one more time. And also, if the link isn't working for you or you're not comfortable going to another link, feel free to add in the chat. We'd love to know your name, your affiliation or your organization, and where you're dialing in from. And we can add that in for you. And while we give everybody 1 minute to go through this exercise, I'll just share one more time. And once you open the Padlet link, you'll come to your bottom right hand of the screen to the plus sign and click on it and add your name and where you live. So I'm living from North Carolina and Asheville. I'm going to click that. Once you publish it, also, you can edit it. With opening the 3 dots, you can edit your post once you put it in here. Oh. Look, we've got quite a few folks from the United States and some folks from Canada. Wonderful. Thank you, Delia, for sharing how to change to your own name. Delia's chat here lets everyone know that the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner of your screen allows you to rename yourself if you dialed in with the direct link that I sent to those interested in our task teams. Super. Oh, thank you, Tina. We'll definitely add your link in for you. I'm sorry the link isn't working for you. Well, I will come back to showing this map at the end if folks can continue to add in places and sharing your intro either in the chat or in our Padlet link here. Um, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, or I'm gonna stop sharing my Padlet and go back to introducing our first speaker. Um, Today, Marie is joining us from the Conservation Corps. And um, well, let me tell you a little bit about our theme today. I'm sorry. We're going to hear from speakers who can tell us about what exactly is a conservation corps, how are they models for connecting and inspiring local communities, young people, and trail lovers to become conservation leaders through direct work and training. They collaborate with communities and partners to build sustainable futures. And I think it's an amazing way and model for us to think about globally. And we've got some specific stories from places around the world, and as well as some models of collaborations and memberships like the Core Network. So please, we'll be going through each of our speakers one at a time, and we'll have a question and answer time after they have gone through their presentations. We would ask that we won't bring everybody off of mute or anything till that time, but we welcome your questions in the chat and encourage you to write down your questions so we can have a lively Q&A at that time. So we're really thrilled to have such phenomenal speakers with us today, and I'm going to hand it over to Marie Walker now, who is the Chief Operating Officer from the Core Network here in the United States, which is a national association of service and conservation corps. Marie.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Julie. I am so excited and proud to be a part of this group. It's always an exciting time, and you can meet new friends from around the world that do some of the same things that you do in your neighborhood. The Core Network, I am coming to you live and direct from the nation's capital, from Washington, D.C. And of course, this city is upside down, getting ready for all kinds of things happening over the course of the next couple of days with the presidential inauguration. So we are trying to maneuver and navigate our way through, trying to be regular, normal folks in Washington, D.C. in this time. But I do bring you greetings and say it is morning time here. A very cold morning in Washington, D.C. It's about 21 degrees here. So hopefully wherever you all are in the world, I know we have some friends from Canada, so 21 degrees is probably not um, uh, shocking to you, but for us here, it's a little chilly here. It's a little cold. But anyway, the Core Network, who are we? We are the National Association of Service and Conservation Corps from across the country. We have approximately 150 member organizations that belong to the Core Network. We're the voice for the Corps. We do advocacy work on Capitol Hill for the Corps. We provide funding to them. We provide access to some federal partners and other partners for Corps to do projects. We offer training and technical assistance. We have a whole library of best practices. And I would say, also, I want to say thank you for one of my colleagues being on the call this morning, Bobby Tillett, who got up very early to join us. But I think Bobby will put in the chat for us our website. You can go on our website and learn a lot more about who the Core Network is and who our members are, and then how to become a member. I think we go to the next slide. So with the Core Network we represent all of these corps. So what is a corps? The corps do amazing work and are formulated in all different kinds of ways. They may be workforce development programs, they may be service programs, they may have charter schools. A young person can come on board to a corps if they don't have their GED or high school diploma. And many corps offer GEDs or high school diplomas or trades, different types of other skills, prepping them to go to college. Corps generally are made up of nonprofits, or some are part of state or local governments. Some are part of colleges and universities. So corps come from all walks of life. Engaging in public-private partnerships with service projects that really talk about how to enhance someone's community, improve the community where people live. And the whole core model is based on the Civilian Conservation Corps from the 1930s. And so I think so many people feel like, well, are you doing the same kinds of things? Yes, many of the trails and bridges that we still utilize today across the country were built back in the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps members. Next slide. So what are some of the few common elements that a corps has? Organized participants come in a crew-based or cohort model. So remember, these are the types of things that we look for when someone says, hey, I'd like to be a member of the core network. What are the eligibility criteria? So this is one, a crew-based or cohort model that allows the members to work together along with each other and for their opportunities to serve. Also, secondly, to provide some type of education, training, technical career technical training, readiness, and supportive services. So it's got to the organization should offer some of those things, if not all, to make up part of the core model. And also the core members that participate in the program are paid for their full-time service. Now, you say pay. They're probably not going to make the $30 an hour. But the pay may be a minimum wage. It may be a once a week stipend. It comes in different forms, but there has to be some type of pay for the time of their full-time service. And then that they have a goal that presents a central element for the mission, meaning that they all focus on what it is that makes the community where they live, what makes it better. And this, I think, is one of the great points of being in a corps, because that member can actually see what they do in the community that they're serving. A lot of times, some corps, and we'll talk about this in just a second, the types of project work that they do. But let's say that there is a community park, and in that community park, they wanted a trail built, and the corps came in to build that trail. Well, one of the things, the corps members become the greatest PR for that particular park, because they're going to tell folks, hey, I helped build that trail in that park. Let's go see what that looks like. And so it brings people out into the community. It gives that core member that sense of pride about the community, and it enhances both the community that they serve and the people in the community. Next slide. So what do core members gain when they are part of that core? Of course, they're going to have some type of job training. There's a hands-on work experience. They get a wage, some type of a living allowance. If they don't have their high school diploma or GED, they can get that from the Corps. We also have what's called the AmeriCorps Education Award. The Education Award, once that Corps member signs up for AmeriCorps Education Award, Depending on their different levels of different hours, number of hours that they work, they receive a scholarship. And those scholarship dollars can go towards paying for college. It could go towards technical school. It could go towards paying off student loans, but it just depends on what level of hours that Corps member participates in that will determine the amount of the scholarship award. And then the Corps members also have wraparound supportive services. Let's say that there's a Corps member who needs a driver's license. You may have had their driver's license. They may have lost it for whatever reason. The Corps has the capacity to give them that support to help them regain that driver's license. There's also that we have had instances where there have been young men, because Corps are made up of men and women, but where there have been young men who have had child support payments that they had to make. And the Corps will actually work with the court system to help them lower the payments, or to help them maybe eliminate that from their record. So the wraparound supportive services. And then of course the leadership skills and pride that I was talking about a little bit earlier in the community that they're serving. The next slide. And these are a few examples of what Corps do. All the neighborhoods, the historic structures that may be worked on and preserved. And although this is a very inclusive list, there's so many other things that Corps do in the communities in which they serve. Right now, we have about 30 crews, which are made up of probably 8 to 10 people per crew, currently on the ground in the Los Angeles, California area, helping with the fire disaster. So that's a big thing. A lot of Corps do disaster preparedness and response. So we have over 20 crews that are on the ground right now, either helping fight the fire or supporting the first responders that are fighting the fires. And I think this may be my last slide. Oh, and this is where we are. Again, you can look on our website and you can find where Corps are and what the Corps members are doing. And with all that, I'll pass the baton back to Julie. And I think if there are questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll come back to them later. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marie. It's amazing work. And our next speaker, I haven't seen her on the line. So Kiana, are you with us? I don't see you. All right. Well, Kiana works with the Ancestral Lands Conservation Corps, which is one of the Corps Network's members, very focused on tribal and indigenous communities. But with Kiana not with us, I encourage you to check out the Ancestral Lands Conservation Corps. Kiana also has worked with our partnership of the National Trails System. So and here in the US, our National Historic and National Scenic Trails, and developing indigenous mapping for our national trails, which has been an amazing project. And I can find the link and pop that in for everyone. So next up, we have Jessie Hess, who's with the USDA's Forest Service International Programs. Jessie.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Julie. It's good to be here. Yeah, as Julie said, I'm Jessie Hess with the U.S. Forest Service International Programs team. I'm a program manager on the Europe-Eurasia team. I've been there for about 2 years now. I'm based in upstate New York, and I actually got to attend the conference in Ottawa last year, and that was how I got connected with this group, and it was a really great experience. So just a little plug there. Next slide, please. So I know we've got some international folks on the line. So just really briefly, the Forest Service is one of the US's main land management government agencies, with a fundamental mission to manage our nation's forests and grasslands. But we also manage around 160,000 miles of trails, which is a ton of trails, and that's within our 193 million acres of national forests and grasslands. And to do that, we have around 30,000 employees that specialize in natural resource management and fire management, to help us accomplish this mission. But we also, we can't get this work done by ourselves. Um, Even though we have a lot of employees, like the map on the screen shows those little yellow and green blobs are where all of our national forests and grasslands are. So we also highly value partnerships with non-governmental organizations to do research, restore, manage, and to better understand these ecosystems. And we think that a partnership approach really helps diverse groups find a common ground to leverage resources and get work done. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, and another significant avenue, in the category of how we get stuff done is through partnering and implementing conservation corps. Conservation corps are truly a two-way win-win situation, which is evident in our goals for the conservation corps. Participants benefit with training and experience. And, Marie went over a lot of the benefits and kind of what it is. So participants get training and experience and education. And then, of course, the Forest Service gets that increased capacity, and being able to foster and really build that new generation of natural resource management professionals. So it's really a win for both entities there. And our conservation corps projects engage youth, young adults, emerging professionals, veterans, who are all interested in conservation and environment and seeking to really advance their skills and those opportunities. And we have a few different avenues for our domestic conservation corps. The 21st Century Conservation Corps Service Corps, it's focused on workforce development, training, and education. It's for people from anywhere from age 16 to 30. And it can look like your kind of traditional field crew or focused internships. And then our Youth Conservation Corps programs are kind of more what we in the US would think of as a traditional conservation corps, where it's summer employment for, younger teenage folks, and they're working in our protected areas in the US and getting paid for it over the summer. And then a significant program for the Forest Service is our Job Corps programs, which are a more intensive year-round residential program, for people ages 16 up to 24. And it really focuses on education and those vocational skills. And I actually got to visit a Job Corps center in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, 2 summers ago, and I got to meet a lot of really sharp, really skilled, really ambitious residents, and it was really inspiring to be able to spend a day with them and kind of see what they were working on, and all the goals and ambitions that they had was really special. And yeah, as Marie said, all of our Conservation Corps participants receive some kind of payment, and another benefit for some of the programs is that they also might receive some federal hiring priorities, in a way for kind of workforce development and funneling people into some of the federal jobs. Next slide, please. So the office that I work in, international programs, all of this good work that we're doing domestically in the US, we have a directive to apply globally as well. So although the Forest Service didn't get a formal international programs office until the 1990s, we've been working overseas for over 100 years, and we continue to work with our international partners, both government and non-governmental, to learn and share best management practices. And right now we have partners that we work with in over 90 countries around the world, which is really exciting. And while our expertise definitely focus on natural resource management, it will often go beyond that, beyond just like the forest management stuff. We have expertise in a lot of different topics, disaster management, invasive species, climate change. So we implement a lot of those kind of projects all over the world as well with our partners. And we have a lot of that experience, but we also see it as a two-way opportunity for information exchange that we think makes our U.S. agency better when we share those perspectives and knowledge with our partners around the world. And this knowledge sharing also applies to our international work with Conservation Corps and trails. Next slide, please. Yeah, so sharing we have a long experienced history of conservation corps. So sharing that our international programs has supported partners in over 10 countries to establish conservation corps, with more in development and on the way, which is really exciting. Conservation corps are kind of a new concept in some regions, but some of the struggles that why we have conservation corps here, those are universal. Like some regions here in the US, our partners face high youth unemployment, limited opportunities, rapid urban migration. But everywhere in the world, conservation corps can offer those same benefits. And on the next slides, I'll go over a few examples of what we're doing abroad. And kind of tying in that theme of inclusive trail engagement too, as I was saying, sometimes it's like similar struggles abroad, but it's also the same advantages. But we take special care when we're developing these programs to adapt and apply the cultural contexts to wherever we are in the world. And this is always working very closely with our partners. I can't emphasize partnership enough. But at the end of the day, we're engaging in these programs, young people, marginalized people that don't think they have a lot of upward mobility or career opportunities, or just like people that are looking to level up their skills and gain that practical experience and knowledge. For example, there's a lot of programs that we have and not enough time, but just for one example, in Bangladesh, the Conservation Corps program engages underprivileged youth, and the program builds capacity through a 5-month residential training followed by a 1-month internship opportunity. And a lot of the goals are to strengthen leadership and environmental stewardship, vocational skills. And then after the program is done, they form a strong alumni network to really keep that connection there. And then another example on the next slide. In Colombia, they're doing youth from rural areas that acquire a wide range of tools and knowledge, and their format is a 8-month residential program followed by a 2-month internship placement. And the youth there work with communities to manage forests, preserve watersheds, and make management plans for some of their protected areas there. So, there's just so many great programs going on that have real impact on the youth abroad, who are gaining real skills and utilizing them to better themselves and their communities around the world. But the one that I've had the privilege of working with closely is the Caucasus Conservation Corps, which I have a few pictures of on the next slide. And it's been really great to get to work with leaders from Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan for this amazing project that intersects both youth engagement and really ambitious trail building. These are pictures from 2 of the study tours where I hosted leaders in North Carolina, where we got to meet up with Julie, and in Arizona for the management team, where both of these study tours were really productive for team building and program development. And we're lucky to have one of the leaders from Azerbaijan with us today. And so I won't take up any more time, and she's going to tell you all the details about the Caucasus Conservation course. So I'll pass it over to Gunay.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, Gunay, it's really exciting, the connection and the opportunity for you to be with us, as you're representing your conservation corps, but also Gunay is one of the World Trails Network's World Trails ambassadors. So we're so excited to have your voice and your input today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so much, Jessie. My name is Gunay Murshud, and I'm from Azerbaijan. I'm so proud to represent here today the Transcaucasian Trail and also Caucasus Conservation Corps program. And I'm really happy to be a part of World Trail Network as an ambassador. Again, thank you so much for today's opportunity. So let me share a little bit about my region and what we are doing here. About Caucasus, about Caucasus Conservation Corps program, and about the people here. I think we have to go next slide. So maybe you're not familiar with the Caucasus, so I have a map for you. Can you see this small circle? So the South Caucasus is here. It might looks like very small, but it's really home to incredible landscapes, cultures, and peoples. Yeah, and also I want to show you the Transcaucasian Trail map. TCT is, I think it's twin of Trans-Canada Trail, another TCT in the other side of the world. So the Transcaucasian Trail is 3,000 kilometers first long distance world-class trail here in the Caucasus. But I think the Transcaucasian Trail is not just about creating world-class long-distance hiking trail. It's mostly about the connecting people, cultures, landscapes in a meaningful way. So alongside this, we have the Caucasus Conservation Corps program. And this program focuses on inspiring and empowering young conservation leaders through outdoor work and training. I think we could go to the next slide. The Transcaucasian, the Caucasus Conservation Program. Our mission as a Caucasus Conservation Program is to develop youth-driven program that builds skills, provides environmental education, and supports nature-based tourism in South Caucasus. So we train young people to work in outdoor environments, help protect nature, and bring benefits to the local communities near the trail. So as a Caucasus Conservation Corps program, this is our main goal. We are doing this with help U.S. Forest Service. Thank you so much again, Jessie, for that. Yeah, I want to share with you one of the program. So we have the 100 days program last year, and it was one of the wonderful opportunity for our countries. This program, it was 100-day three-country exchange program involving Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. During this program, it was 50 days training and 50 days working program. And during this program, it wasn't just about technical skills. It wasn't just about, let's say, physical work. It mostly was about the yeah, it was mostly about develop leadership abilities and had the unique chance to work across all three countries. So participants there had a chance, for example, Azerbaijan Georgian crew there had a chance work in Azerbaijan and also in Georgia. Also, this program it's mostly about to build bridges between cultures, ideas, and peoples. I remember it was really inspiring to see how these people with sometimes with the same but sometimes completely different background, they come together, they work together, they have fun together, and after a while 100 days is a lot, as you know. So after a while they start to teach language each other, share their lives and everything. It was so inspiring, especially during the international volunteer camp. Yeah, people from whole world from the whole world, they are come together with different backgrounds and work together in the Caucasus and have fun together. It was really very inspiring, and I think this is the one of the main goals of the Caucasus Conservation Corps program. And in the next slide, I want to talk with you about our challenges and lessons learned. Of course, when you bring together people from different countries, there may be a lot of barriers. One of them is language barriers, logistic, and timing. Especially, we focus on youth and especially around the university exams. It created really some hurdles. But we I think we could take some valuable from the every challenges, and this year we have adjusted. We are focusing on local training programs at the start while still keeping the cross-country exchange aspect alive. So this year we wanted to change the not change, like continue with more local impact, but still we will take alive our exchange aspect. It's very important for us. As Jessie mentioned before, last year we had a privilege visiting Arizona with the support of the U.S. Forest Service, of course, and there we learned about their conservation core models and trail building programs. And now we are applying that knowledge to improve our work here in Caucasus. And as I mentioned before, this year we are especially focused on creating a regional conservation corps is in Azerbaijan. I think we could take next. Transcaucasian Trail and also Caucasus Conservation Corps program is young project and program which is running by youth, and our main goal is engage young people. And trail building is such a new concept in our region. So we are starting our work since January until spring is not working. It's not field season here in the Caucasus because it's too cold. But we are starting with indoor trainings. We are starting trail talk seminars. We are doing pre-program trail camps, trail building camps, and also weekend camps. During these camps, people and especially youth, they can see what is how the work is looks like, what we are doing. And I think sometimes it's not just about the activities, it's mostly about storytelling. We tell young people how their work impacts their lives, the communities, and even the world. So I think this is the one of our main highlight and main insight from our work. I do remember in Arizona Conservation Corps, I met Matt Moon, and we were talking about a lot about how we could engage young people. I think that was the main the main insight he told us, you never can change things you're not talking about, So I think it's very important in our work to talk about what we are doing and where is this. Yeah, and then I think we have the final, not final slides. So yeah, and finally, I want to share a little bit about the heroes. I want to mention this part especially because we're trying to inspire people from the schools, very young people who are in university and etc. So I want to share our goal, our main insight. So I think we all had heroes from the movies or from the books in our from our childhood when we were children, and now I think we need real life heroes, those who dedicate their lives to protect the nature and building trails. So today it's our responsibility to share their stories and inspire others to join this cause. So I think by doing this, we can create a global heroes who leave a lasting impact for us. Yeah, I think it was my main message for today, and it was one of the main highlight about the Caucasus Conservation Corps program. So thank you so much for your time and for your attention. I would be happy to answer all your questions later, maybe. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of our speakers. I am so impressed with all of the work that you do, and it's really a gift to hear about the amazing work that you're doing in the world. I just love how you ended that, Gunay, with that these are heroes. They are changing our communities and, protecting our guardians for our planet. And I just really I love that image of of the folks within these conservation corps really being the heroes of our communities and of our world. So I want to stop sharing my screen and see everyone's faces and give folks an opportunity to get some other voices on the line here and see what questions you all have. I saw one question in the chat, which I believe was for you, Gunay, around animals. Let's see. It was, do you have a problem with the animals on trails?
Okay, thank you so much. I think in Azerbaijan, we don't have any official animal-related issue. We don't have any official issue yet. But sometimes on the trail, you can meet shepherd dogs. But we have in our website, you can check our website, transcaucasiantrail.org. Instruction how you could behave when you met some shepherd dogs on the trail, but we don't have any other things.
Yeah, I know the responsibility for a lot of trail systems is in having the local information about land use and who's managing that land, whose land you're crossing and walking on, along with all of the kinds of, local fauna and flora that you should be aware of and how to interact with them and the things that you need to know when walking into a new culture and community. Does anyone else have questions for our speakers? I welcome questions, I welcome comments, and I will add in if you have a question about the World Trails Network or our task team as well. So. Oh, Julie, I have a question. Sorry, please come off mute. Oh, it's Brian. Hi.
Hi, Julie.
Nice to
Can
see
you hear me?
you.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself? Because we see you as Julie Judkins.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, I sent out a link that apparently if I sent it to you directly, it made it show up as Julie Judkins. So apologies about that.
Sure, no problem. My name is Brian. I'm from Cameroon, and right now I'm in the countryside, my hometown, Mumphy. So I'm a World Trails Ambassador and a volunteer coordinator at Green Cameroon. I'm super excited to be on this call with you all, and thank you for your presentations, Marie, Jessie, and Gunay. So please let me know when I'm breaking the network situation here. It's a bit down. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, can you hear me, Julie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. I just wanted to ask, because recently the Bimbia area, which is a historical site, and it has trails that connect the community to their past, their history, because that site hosts the relics of the transatlantic slave trade. So recently, the government wants to lease that site to an individual for a period of about 30 years, and the community is seriously against it. They don't want it to happen. So I don't know what advice you could give to someone like me as a World Trails Ambassador. What can I do? How can I engage with the community and to make their voices heard as far as this situation is concerned? So I just wanted to pose this question to everyone in the call. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. I'm going to open it up to the floor and see if anybody has advice. I'd welcome your comments. My first reaction is to host community walks, to have discussion and open discussion, and sharing why it's of importance to the community, and inviting the reps that you're trying to maybe create some change around. I always think that if you're in person and if you're walking or outside, it's a lot more difficult to have the tensions that arise in a kind of Zoom or digital space or a kind of meeting space. So that might be one way that you can create some meaningful conversations that would help folks understand the challenges and issues. Do others have thoughts? Oh. Let's see. Okay. Delia has sent me a question that I believe is for me to tell everybody, ask the group. As the
I
US
meant to send it to the group. It was a mistake.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll read it and add it for the group. As the US and Europe shift more toward the right politically, do you see any threats to your programs? And what role do you see for cores in holding public attention on environmental stewardship in this political setting? Oops. Do folks have thoughts on the role that cores can play in what is seen as a very political divide in a lot of ways?
Sorry, I can't find the hand raise button.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you, Rachel.
I was looking for it earlier, but this is a great question. When I started working with Rainbow Roots Association based in Northern Ontario, I had that feeling as well, and I was concerned. We currently have a premier that's not 100% on the environmental side. I used to work in parks, and just the diminishing funds that were given to provincial parks was very much noticed over the past 2 decades that I was working there. And as much as that's still a struggle for nonprofits like us, what I'm really seeing or still noticing is I don't know if I want to say lucky, but there is an interest from sometimes individuals in the far right to protect lands for hunting reasons. And maybe that might not be our primary goal as a nonprofit who cares for trails and part of the Trans-Canada Trails. But at least not trying to, what's the word, to be toxically positive here, but noting that if you find where you can meet that person, what is it that they care about? Whether it's they like to hunt or they, have grandchildren who go camping, or, even I had an event at Laurentian University 2 weeks ago where I had a lot of newcomers coming up to our table, just moved to Sudbury in the last 2 days from all over the world, China, Nepal, many other places. And I would say 90% of them said, oh, you have a hike tomorrow. That's great. I'll come. But there was another 10% who said, oh, it's too cold for me to go outside. And we do know lots of people don't want to when it's minus 21 over in, where was that? Washington? It's hard for some people to get outside. So one of the pieces I said to people is, even just spending 5 minutes outside in a day when it's sunny out, or I've heard other people touting, 15 minutes when it's sunny, and if it's rainy, and cold, maybe only 5 minutes, but spending that 5 minutes outside and how that makes you feel different. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but having that kind of conversation with someone who might feel like they're on the opposite end politically with you, to find where can you meet them in the middle. That's just my thoughts. I don't know if that's been successful or anything anyone else is.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I really appreciate that perspective. And I haven't heard the toxic positivity, but I also appreciate that comment. I agree. I think anytime you can find shared values, and there are so many shared values about trails in our communities. And there are, from someone who has worked for a trail system for 2 decades now, I found that in the US, it was a very bipartisan topic, the Appalachian Trail. And so it didn't slow in terms of giving or, attention with either party. So our time has come to the top of the hour, and I just once again, I hope everybody can help, share some love with the speakers. And thank you so much for the time that you've taken to be with us today. And I wanted to show you our beautiful map. We did have quite a few folks representing from all over the world. So thank you for joining us at whatever hour it is today, and to hope that you join us in the future. We have 3 other forums like this planned for this year with our task team, and we welcome you to join our task team. We also have meetings outside of these public forums that are more presentation model of sharing promising practices and models that we welcome you to participate in. But the dates here on the right are our forum dates. March 12th, we will focus on accessibility. So please do join us, and thank you so much for being a part of our first forum today. And a special thank you to all of our speakers. Y'all are awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Joey. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a wonderful day.